We're live.
Good. One,
Yes,
two, one,
indeed.
two.
Yes,
One,
yes, yes,
two,
yes, yes,
one,
yes,
two.
yes, yes, yes,
One,
yes.
two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing the mic. 1, 2, 1, 2. You know it's on. You know it's on. Wait, Stretch.
Yeah.
We probably should introduce ourselves
Yes,
first.
yes. This is, well, first of all, this is Sole DXB Radio, and this is the Stretch and Bobbito segment. I'm Stretch.
Oh.
Bob, you should
Hey, yo
introduce
soy-
yourself
yo
because
soy-
you have like so many names
Yeah,
and
yo
you
soy
love.
Bobbito García,
Yeah, here we
a.k.a.
go.
Cool Bob Love, de Puerto Rico y Nueva York. Estoy aquí. Estaba. Don, you want Spanish or English?
English,
All right,
Brethren,
all right,
yeah.
cool.
Which kind? Which
English
English?
The best he can manage.
Yeah, man.
Because I'm sure it's all rubbish.
We got a capacity crowd out in the on-air Sole DXB. We have counted 5,332.
They're breaking records. You know, we've
All
done
right.
this. We've done this 5 years in a row. and
Yeah,
it's
no
just,
doubt.
It's just growing.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's lovely.
No doubt. I'm saying this particular audience for on air is lovely. We got Big Haj from Saudi Arabia, Revolutionary Radio vet in his country, and he is 100% supporter of what me and Stretch do worldwide. So we appreciate him being in the audience. Who else we got out there, Stretch? Who you recognize? We got homeboy right there, and he looked mad familiar, right? I forget his name. Look like Special Ed's young
It
cousin.
looks like Humpty Hump's cousin.
I was going to say Humpty
Yo,
Dumpty.
Humpty Hump. Just grab him in the biscuits.
Do what you like.
Listen, my man, I've gotten that for years, so we're together on that one.
Yeah.
He's not listening. All
He's
good.
not. He's not.
Hey, listen.
What?
When
Wait,
we-
but let's do other. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm horrible at interrupting you.
No,
so
no, no.
I'm
What-
gonna go
I mean,
back.
you still want to talk about
gonna backtrack.
the people in the audience?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
No, I was gonna move it inside.
Oh, no, I want to say peace to our mixcloud.com/Sole DXB listeners, and also peace to the Sole DXB app listeners. So Sole DXB is growing and growing. I think they're expecting about 13 to 15,000 people on ground here this weekend in Dubai, but we exponentially expand throughout the universe through these recordings of on air. Shout out to my man Raj and his whole crew, Hassan, Josh, and beyond, for bringing us out. For our
True.
Yo, this is our 50
True.
in a row, bro. You peeped that?
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
So naturally, I peeped it. For me to say it, I would have had to
Yeah.
peep it first.
Now I'm hot.
Listen, yeah, we're getting our guests are getting they're getting
So what?
impatient.
Nah, whatever.
But it's lovely to see our guests become friends. Listen, when we got the list of potential guests, I was ridiculously excited when I saw the name Don Letts.
No doubt.
And
Aplauso, aplauso,
Yeah.
aplauso. Come on, clap it up out there.
and
Are y'all listening? Oh, yeah, I see people clapping. Oh, there she clapped even with the salad in her hand. I saw that.
and
Talented.
in addition, our dear friend from New York, our DJ sister, Natasha Diggs.
No doubt.
What up, what up,
Aplauso, aplauso, por
And,
favor, para
and they are sitting here with us.
Natasha Diggs.
They're sitting with us. Yeah. So you asked for English, and you said bring your best English, whatever you can muster, and I'm clearly having troubles right now. Anyway, Don and Natasha, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, hey.
Yeah.
I feel like we should ping pong between Don and Natasha so that we get into a little bit of their speak. You down with that? We never really tried that. We usually do like one interview and then another interview, but let's go back and
No, we
forth.
did that.
Ping
We did
pong.
it. We did that last
ping
year.
Ping pong, I got my
Yeah, we
balls
did-
with
we
me.
did.
We're good to go.
Hey, Don brought his balls everywhere he goes.
So let's start with Natasha. You have a curious history that I really was not up on until I read an article in I forget the name of the magazine. It was the
Love
print-
injection.
Love Injection.
Wait, can I just frame something?
Yeah, sure.
So, the DJ game is, as we know, it's changed a lot over the last 10, 20, 30 years. And, when we came up, I think it was easier to establish yourself right? There weren't so many DJs. The digital revolution hadn't happened. Not everybody and their mother was a DJ.
Yep. No celebrity DJs.
Since the digital revolution, when there's just been this explosion of DJs, it seems like it's been much more challenging for DJs to break out and to really establish themselves. And really, in my mind, like almost more than anybody, Natasha, you have carved out a lane for yourself in a super competitive and saturated field. And we've never really spoken about this, but I've just really, as we've got to know you as a friend and gotten more interested in your story, I just want to say that it's been really kind of fantastic to watch, because on top of it, you're such a lovely person.
Aww.
So your success is just feels good, feels right.
Thank you guys.
As you were saying.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic.
You could leave now.
Yeah, I can retire now. I told Bobbito, like, they'd sent me the invite to do this show. I was like, okay, perfect. I'm pretty much, all my life's purpose has been fulfilled, and today after the show, I can pretty much retire.
Well, one day you'll look back at that comment and realize how silly it is.
Yeah,
and that'll be tomorrow.
5 minutes from now.
I find your landing as a DJ curious, because you were a school teacher prior to the years. I mean, while you were still exploring your love for music and record digging and all that, but at what point did you feel confident enough to leave the school teaching behind? Because you were DJing and teaching young children at the same time for at least a year and change.
Oh, like 10 years.
Oh, all right.
No, I mean, they were both big passions of mine. I love children, I love music, and I often combine the two. But it was crazy towards the end of that period of those 10 years. It was like the DJ gigs were, coming on more strong, and I was, staying up till like 4 or 5 in the morning, getting up at 6 in the morning to go to work, and seeing the kids. I walk in the door. My boss would be like, "How are you, Natasha?" I'd be like, "I'm fantastic." I mean, she had no idea. I was probably still a little buzzed off the night before, the hour of sleep I got. But I was just so high off the adrenaline of what I was doing, because I was so in love with it, that then I just got in there and I was like, "Hey kids, it's circle time. Let's play some music. Let's just keep this party going, And literally, it was just that kind of momentum. But
you had like 3 to 5 year old group.
Like 2 to 3 year olds.
Okay,
I taught in a Montessori school, so it was like the babies, the toddlers. But it was super fun, and I got to share my love of music with them too. But there just came a point where I just wasn't sleeping enough. It just wasn't healthy. I wasn't making solid life decisions, and it was time to just to embark on just
very exciting.
Curious moment, right? So Stretch, I don't know if you know this, but Rashida and I DJ together in Atlanta years ago. I don't know.
Well, those were my very first gigs, so that was like 99, 2000.
Yeah. So there was a promoter named Cognito who eventually moved to LA, probably had something to do with you getting booked there because he worked a lot with Assad. And so Rashida spun with me and Spinner for our Stevie Wonder tribute party, Wonderful. And Cognito was part of that. And he's like, "Yo, you know Rashida?" And I'm like, "I don't know." He was like, "Nah, you know Rashida." I was like, "Do I?" He was like, "She opened up for you in Atlanta." And I was like, "Where?" And it was like, he pieced it together, and I was like, "Oh, she had a hoodie on, and she had the drum and bass."
That's right, the jump, because that was my.
She had the drum and bass big bell-bottom jeans on.
Shit at the time.
Yeah.
I was in the jungle deep house scene in Atlanta. I mean, of course, I'm a hip hop soul baby, but that's the shit that got me DJing. So yes, I mean, I probably was wearing some. I wasn't like into raver gear per se, but.
Nah, you had the triple XL hoodie
That's
on.
Embarrassing. Don't talk about my raver pants.
No, I mean, listen, me and Stretch were friends with DB, who had Breakbeat Science
That was the shit.
in New York, and I actually had a shop, Footwork, sold secondhand records right next to Breakbeat Science. So, like, I was
era.
part of that era in the periphery, TC Islam, big drum and bass DJ in New York. And so some of the music, penetrated my crates, not a whole lot, right? But I was curious to ask you, and I want to pivot to Don and to Natasha after that as well. But how did you transition from playing the drum and bass jungle house in Atlanta to moving to LA and then opening up to soul? Or, I mean, I don't know, perhaps you were playing soul, R&B, hip hop in Atlanta as well. I didn't know you for that. I just knew you for the...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I grew up on. That was my record collection kind of by default. It's just not what, when you first start DJing, you have like this vision of like what you gonna be doing. And I was very inspired and excited. I mean, drum and bass and jungle is what made me want to like get turntables and learn how to mix. So I was very focused on that in the beginning, but like I inherited my parents' crates, and then, I'm a hip hop head, so it wasn't really a hard transition. And those are the DJs I listened to as well. I mean, I listened to jungle DJs as well, but like you were one of my favorite DJs, Spinna, you. I mean, like, so that and I mean, I was heavy in the dance hall shit, so that was a super easy transition because I could also mix that in with the jungle, and yeah, it wasn't really a thing because it was already in my.
It was in your wheelhouse.
It was in my
Word. It was in the wheelhouse. This is an open discussion now because I'm just realizing we got 5 DJs here, right? Like, and all of us have our little narratives in each way. One thing I was curious about last night, Don, and I want to pose this to Natasha, Rashida, Stretch, and I'll answer it myself as well, is that when you got on the mic before your first record, actually no, while you was at the Q&A, you mentioned something along the lines of like, yes, you know me for my history in reggae and punk and all the Clash and da-da-da, but I'm not stuck in that era, so I'm gonna play some new stuff. And Stretch and I had a deep history in the 1990s with hip hop. With our radio show, we introduced the world of Nas, Biggie, Wu-Tang, on and on and on. And people, when they hear us spin, they usually anticipate that we're gonna play 90s hip hop, but our library is a lot deeper than that. Natasha and Rashida, I'm wondering, when you show up to a party, what is the narrative of expectation for the two of you? Because you're women, you have like this broad range of likes. And so what is the expectation, and how do each of you, and Don, I want you to answer this as well, how do each of you navigate through that expectation?
I think the expectation for me is to play the music that I love because I have good taste. I would hope, and people book me for that. I mean, and that could encompass so many different genres, and I think it's limiting to like think that I mean, I like like you were saying, like sometimes like even a couple weeks ago, Stretch played my party. And some people were like shocked that he was playing like reggae, and so I was like, nah, like this is like, it's like, and he like, so it's like I'm like, nah, like
that was the night. Actually, I played like
we do this for real. It's like it doesn't
half an hour.
This is like music is wide and deep.
Bob's in the house. Spirit of Bob is here. Yo, first Latin record I played, Bob like hearts were coming out of his eyes.
Talk about having like, you see him on the dance floor cutting it up. It just is all the energy you need.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
You should see me when I get excited about music. Yeah. I might move my head 3 inches.
You were doing the cane dance the other night, remember?
I was sitting on a stool that night, but I had But
he was lit. This was
the day I had 2 epidurals. This was that night. People were like, you're crazy to go. I was like, I really need to be around people. I need to hear music on a sound system.
Yeah. Yep.
And D told me to be there to play at 1:30. Mm-hmm. Got there at 1:15. the whole lineup was an hour and a half behind.
Whoops.
Oh my God.
Ordinarily,
Sorry.
I would have been Mr. Salty, and I wasn't. I was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy the music, and then, I think I got on at like
2 or
2:30.
something, yeah, probably. Sorry.
But it was a great night. Yeah. Thank you.
2:30.
Shout out to D. Prosper.
Party.
Thanks for not texting me.
2:30 at Soul in the Horn is actually the sweet spot.
It kind of is, you know.
It kind of is.
But you're lucky because your expectations line up really nicely with what you do naturally. There's never this this second guessing, like what should I play, what are they expecting, and I get that. If you've been around for as long as we have, and you've kind of navigated through different scenes, been a part of different scenes, people know you for different things. So you get on, you're like, it's just. But luckily, and I could say this has been pretty consistent for the last, 5 years. Like we've always played what we've wanted, but the expectation is really wide open these days, and that's a really great place to be.
Rashida,
Hell
you want to?
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, that's something that I've kind of encountered is that people know me from so many different things and different eras in my DJ career, I guess you could say. So if they know me from a specific thing, they kind of come expecting to hear that. And then if I'm, if they know me from like some Prince shit, then it's like they want to, they think they're gonna hear funk and R&B and whatnot, and then they like come to my house night and it's like, nothing but house and disco, and it's like, okay. But like you said, Natasha, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like I have exquisite taste in music, and if you come to hear me, whatever genre I feel like playing at the time or for that set, like, it's gonna be good. But I love that the audience, like you're saying, is now, I think in general, just more open, right? Like, I don't know. There's something happening in the scenes where I think people are more open
as
in
we
general,
get older,
which is nice.
the listeners get older as well. I'm not saying that there aren't young people that gravitate towards DJs like us, because there are plenty of people like that. But the people that are getting older, their tastes also evolve, and alongside of what we're doing. So gotta cheers to getting older and refining your tastes and becoming more open-minded.
I'm going to come back to Rashida. I want to pivot to Don. So why did you feel the need to establish the set with that statement?
What set? With what
First
statement?
of all, the statement was,
okay.
I'm
Okay,
less
I think I
interested
know what
in
you're
where
talking
reggae is
about.
coming from.
I think I know what
than
you're
where it's
talking about.
going.
I mean,
That's what you said.
listen, we all know where reggae came from.
I love
right?
his energy. His
Right?
energy.
We know where reggae came
He's been
from.
dormant
That's why
for
he's a documentary.
He's been dormant for 10
The
minutes.
judge.
Here
Please,
come the
gavel,
judge.
gavel.
Here come the judge.
Hear
I
ye,
was
hear
about
ye.
to say, we all know where reggae. He's having a fit.
Don't get him started.
Medics.
Yeah. That's called Hardy Gafar.
I know him. I knew him really well, Hardy. So, yeah, really. Okay, we all know where reggae's been. I'm more interested in where it went and where it's going.
Yeah.
So my set reflects the history and legacy of Jamaican music and the island's gift to the world, which is bass. But when I play, I don't care what people expect. All I'm trying to do is get the girls moving. I mean, the nod of a purist in the back going, tune does not impress me.
Yeah.
So I'm all about nicing up the place with some heavyweight bass. Period.
Dope.
There you go.
All right.
Women tend to like Jamaican music. Yeah. Ladies out there, do you like Jamaican music? Put your hand in the air.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
JS, the
a
question was
man,
to
but
like-
we'll take that too.
It's for everybody. It's for everybody.
So, Rashida, there are people who know you from different genres, from different scenes.
Genres?
Genres, yeah. Shout out to Grand Wizard Theodore. Yeah, man. We was on a panel and Theodore was like, "Yeah, man. If you're a real DJ, you gotta play mad different genres." And y'all looked at Theodore and I was like, "This dude invented scratching." I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna laugh.
He just invented a new word. too.
Word, yeah. I mean, it
He's a
might very
creator.
well be,
Yeah.
We could say genre
Yeah.
from now on.
Is
and
it
just be accepted.
Master
But anyway,
Drink?
so,
DJ Jandra.
so
Isn't that
there
an
are
Afrobeat artist, Jandra.
there are audience members who may not know that for some time you were Prince's, the artist formerly known as Prince P's. Prince, yeah.
Yeah.
You were
that was,
Prince's.
By the time I met him, he was Prince.
He's Prince again.
He was
yeah.
Prince again. Okay.
You were like, listen, honey, I could do this, but you got to be Prince.
I was already back on that.
But you were Prince's DJ, and you know, I imagine there's probably like 5,000 hilarious anecdotes that you might be able to share. When Stretch and I had our NPR podcast, we had this thing, and it wouldn't always make the cut of the episode, but we will always ask someone
If it made sense. Yeah.
if it made sense. Like Regina King had a hilarious Prince story. Like Lenny Kravitz had a hilarious
Yeah.
Prince story. So do you have a hilarious Prince story?
I mean, yeah. Let me think.
No pressure to be funny.
He was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. So, I mean, he was funny a lot of the time. I mean, a lot of funny shit was always happening. Let's see. Well, for one, I mean, this is just funny to me, but he was incredibly good. Sorry. What?
That's funny.
Well, this is funny to me, so I don't know if this is gonna land with everybody,
Heidi
but this
guffaws
is just the
back.
first
Yeah,
thing.
but when
that
you
came
tell
to me.
something really funny, this dude's gonna have a heart attack. Damn.
He was just like, as one would imagine, incredibly skilled and amazing at pretty much anything that he did. So for instance, he played pool, he played ping pong, he roller skated, and he, like, you know, killed on all of those fronts. And
He served you up in ping pong?
He had
I was the worst.
He had a purple tennis court. Did he play tennis?
I never saw a purple tennis court,
It's
but there was
in the
at Paisley.
no
I'm
in,
like, I
like
never saw that.
in the Caribbean or someplace where
Oh,
you
in
had
Turks and Caicos.
Yes,
Yeah. And he had other tennis courts as well. But
what I wanna talk about.
tennis is not something I never saw him play it.
Okay.
But okay,
You had to get that out of the way.
Perfect example. This is what I think is
Play
funny.
basketball.
So,
We all know
and
that.
Hello.
We all know
and
that.
Beat me severely. We played horse and I sucked. And we played pool and I sucked. And we played ping pong and I sucked. I could roller skate, but not as good as him. Because
Taking L's left
per
and right.
usual, he was incredible at that. But what I always thought was funny is, like, for instance, like playing pool. You know, playing pool and just like, oh, okay, like, you know, he'd ask you know, let's have a game. Oh, okay, cool. And then he would like go and like get a case, and, like open it up and like have, you know, his stick. Or roller skating, he would go get a case and like open it up and have these like beautiful roller skates with like lights on them, like lights on the wheels, and then just like, you know, again, it's like you're trying to keep it cute and he's like backwards, it's like he's dancing. So he was incredible at everything that I ever saw him do. And to me, it was funny because he took it seriously, you know, like he had professional tools for all of his hobbies.
Being short's a hell of a motivator, isn't it?
So being short's hell of a motivator.
So I have a
Listen.
collective question. I'd like each of us to take a turn at.
My God,
Natasha,
I'm like overwhelmed with the
what?
with the seriousness
No,
coming
no, no.
from your.
This is fun. Because I know you got a great story.
Okay, let's
You have
go.
a great story, and I hope you share it.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say who. Each of us have DJ'd in front of varied audiences. Natasha, what would be the most curious or funniest celebrity appearance while you were DJing?
I don't know. I mean,
Bugged out, funny.
Chappelle. I mean, Chappelle, whenever he shows up, it's like a Chappelle takeover of the night. Like, it's all of a sudden it becomes the Chappelle show. It's like, he does a whole, like, like the mic. I mean, recently, a couple, you know, like when he did his Chappelle on Broadway, they all came after to my party, Soul in the Horn in New York. And
She's talking about Dave Chappelle. For those
yeah.
who don't know.
And Q-Tip was there, so Q-Tip gets there, grabs the mic, does a whole introduction for Dave Chappelle. I'm like, this just turns into something else. And like, then Chappelle gets on the mic, he's like, yes, you know, I'm here with a lot of fly motherfuckers. So if you want to take some pictures, take them now. Because basically he goes through, he's like, because the only thing more beautiful and more magical than a photograph is a memory. And if you know, so I'm going to ask everyone to turn off their phones. And let's make some magical memories. On the count of 5, everyone can turn off their phones. Nobody took out their phones the whole night. We were all dancing, laughing, having the best time all night. He pretty much started curating the whole show. He's like pulling people, like, you know, Renee Neville was there. She's like, get on, okay, she's gonna do that. Like, we coordinated a whole set real fast. I'm like, okay, what songs are we gonna do, girl? Like you know, I'm like throwing back and DJ all of a sudden. I mean, he just like turned it out into his own show. But yeah, always a riot when he comes through. Yeah.
Don Letts.
I'm trying to think of an interesting story, somebody famous at one of my DJ gigs, but I can't think of shit. I can think of interesting stories when I was in a band called Big Audio Dynamite.
Oh, word.
I can tell you, like, one night,
I love that record.
Backstage, we had David Bowie, Pete Frampton, Jimmy Cliff, and Dave Stewart. That was a buzz. But DJing, listen, I'm just happy to have a crowd in front of me, man.
Right.
You know, really. Because I'm not being funny, but I'm not really in you guys' leagues. I'm kind of small and niche, and I'm kind of happy in that space. Because I'm selfish. You know, I play for myself.
No doubt.
And if you don't like it,
doubt.
there's the door.
Word.
You know what I mean? I'm kind of happy with that.
We're with you on that one.
You're my
We
idol.
cleared floors in places where people weren't prepared for that.
Word.
So.
Yeah, I've thrown anvils on dance floors my whole life. Everyone
Although,
out.
funny enough, I made a film about skinheads a couple of years ago, and occasionally I go to these venues and like 50 skinheads will turn up, expecting me to be playing shit from 50 years ago. And maybe I'll drop one or two, and then the rest of the night you see him with a scowl like, what the hell is he doing?
And how old
As
are
I'm
these guys?
dropping jungle, 50
Okay,
upwards,
right.
you know.
Right. So they want to hear ska.
They
rock,
want to hear
yeah.
the same 20 goddamn
right.
tunes
Sure,
they've been
sure,
hearing
sure.
their whole life. And any fool can do that. And like I said, I just can't stay back there, man. You know, I can't do the nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
I'm all about embracing the right now and where we're going.
Or Stretch.
Yeah, what,
Sting.
You've done a lot of
tell
celebrity
us Sting
shit.
story.
Come on.
I know you got
Yeah,
good ones.
please. I love that
I just thought
story.
that's funny. It's just no. The funnier part of all right. So I DJ'd Sting's wife and daughter's birthday party at a very small, intimate, dark spot called the Submercer in the below the basement of the Mercer Hotel, and yeah. So I'm DJing and Sting eventually gets on the dance floor and he's sweating. He's dancing so hard, and then his shirt comes off.
What a surprise.
His shirt comes off, yeah, but then he starts pulling shirts off of other people. Yeah. Now, that's not the funniest part of the night.
That's funny.
The funniest part of the night is another interaction with a famous person. So, the first year that we did Soul, I got a call here saying that. Oh my God, my memory is horrible. What's the actor from Zoolander?
Adam Sandler. No, Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
They want you to DJ Ben Stiller's 50th birthday. So I had to
snap.
fly back early and get that bag, right?
Right.
I'm never going to say that again because I hate that expression. It's horrible, and yet
your
it has
bag.
infected my lingo. So I DJ the party. I show up. I'm like, "Where's the sound system?" Like, no, you're using the house sound system. You know, it's like a restaurant. I was like, that ain't gonna work.
Great.
No sound. Monitor? No, nothing. So literally, I am playing records, and you can't hear anything. Whatever. End of the night, Ben's there with his legendary father, his wife, and it's just me and them. And I say goodnight, and Ben's like, "Thank you so much. You were fantastic. I love what you played." And I'm like, this guy's giving me the Hollywood just BS. Like, but he's no, really. I had the best time. I was like, you could really hear the music? No, absolutely. I was like, all right, whatever. So, great. Took a picture, yada, yada, yada.
I'll leave it up.
Now, fast forward to Sting's wife and daughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
And I should say daughter, Mickey. What's up, Mickey? And I'm DJing, and you know, at the Submercer, like behind the DJ booth, there's that really dark area, right? It's like that little like chamber. I can't really hang out in there because it's like the ceiling's like less than 6 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
I've banged my head there so many times. Anyway, I feel someone like tap my shoulder, and I look, and this man emerges from the darkness, and he comes up to me. This is in the middle of like Sting is going off. I'm playing loud, like the party is jumping, and I realize it's Ben Stiller. He goes, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, and I smile like, hey. He's like, hey, could you turn the music down?
I can only hear
I was like, I knew he wasn't feeling me.
the truth finally came out.
I was like, this motherfucker.
That is hilarious.
But didn't
That's
Sting
all-
give
that's-
you a hug with his shirt off?
And his
And his
erect
left the-
nipples.
They left the imprint on your T-shirt.
Too much detail.
Oh God.
Listen, I have a visual. It was
Dave Chappelle came to our gig at Club Mighty
that was funny.
in San
'Cause what-
Francisco, and I didn't recognize him because he had
he
kind
got
of bowled out.
Diesel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to be skinny, and he walked up to the booth, and I'm looking at dude like it's dark, and there's a Diesel cat to the left of the booth.
Darkness.
I'm like, and I'm talking to him, and I'm not even realizing it's Dave for like a hot second, and then,
And
I'm
then I
like,
told you it was Dave, and then we had to go find him on the dance floor.
I think he walked away, and
He
I
did.
still didn't know it was
Yeah, yeah.
Dave.
Yo, I got a funny Dave story. So
Wait, but that's
was it
not
that?
my story.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was your story. Go ahead.
I mean, no, actually, let's
No,
just
no,
keep
go
on
ahead.
talking about it. Let's call this podcast the Dave Chappelle podcast.
Chappelle show.
Yo, so
Chappelle show.
so the first time I DJ'd at a Chappelle party was at the Soho Grand, and he was super lit. I mean, you know how it's like Dave goes so hard. It's ridiculous. Anyway, at this party, you know, Dave's from DC, and I love go-go music. So I started playing some go-go. I'm playing go-go, and he's like, "Yo, I want to hear some Lil Wayne." I was like, "All right, we can take a left turn. We can do that." So when he came to Soul on the Horn, he came to the originals that same week,
Right.
and did the same thing,
Yeah.
the same speech.
Yeah.
Let's make memories.
Exactly.
And he was about to leave, and I was like, "Hold on, Dave, I'm gonna play some go-go, right?" So I start playing some go-go. There's a video clip of him talking on the mic as that's happening, and as it was happening, I couldn't hear what he was saying because his voice was only coming out of the speakers and not the monitors. Yep. So I can't hear anything except my music, but I know he's talking, and I'm playing go-go. Turns out, what he was saying was, "I really don't like go-go."
No way.
You found them little.
And wow, okay.
Okay, can I call time on David Chappelle? Otherwise, I'm leaving, man. I've got nothing to say about David.
Story.
I'm 53, right? And I'm on your page, right? Like, I've done a lot of different things. I'm grateful for all of them, and I'm constantly trying to figure out how do I reinvigorate and
Stay relevant.
and
Stay
stay relevant.
now, man.
Also challenge myself in ways
And
that
remain
are,
interested.
yeah,
yourself,
and remain creative. So, how are you doing that? I'm imagining you're 63 already if you were born in 1956.
Yep,
So,
and loving it.
True mathematics.
Yep.
how are you envisioning how the next 10, 15 years play out? I'm constantly, listen, my dude, I'm constantly thinking 2 to 5 years ahead. Always. I already have.
I hope I make it to next week. Damn. No, really, I'm impressed, dude. No, really.
I'm saying creative-
Like, people try to book me for gigs for $220. I'm like, sure, if I'm alive.
But
staying motivated, I
an
mean,
insurance
I-
policy when they book you.
I mean, I live in London, and London keeps you motivated because it's so goddamn expensive. You know, I got 2 teenage kids, and you can't buy them yo-yos anymore. You know, everything they want got like loads of zeros on the end. So London's a good motivator. I ain't lying.
That's a good,
Come
that's
on.
a Hardy Gafar worthy statement. Yo-yos. Yo.
Yo, yeah.
Yo, selfie time. Yo, let me get a selfie.
The future.
Yeah, so paying the bill keeps me motivated. There you go.
And so what do you have on your eyes? What do you have your eyes on moving forward that that you haven't checked off on the bucket list?
Okay, I mean, people don't know it, but my main trade is as a filmmaker. And there's big gaps when you ain't making films. So, like I say, I have to supplement my income. That's why I DJ. And I kind of like turning people on through my culture. I've always done that. And I got a radio show on the BBC that isn't a reggae show.
Word.
I mean, they asked me to come and do a reggae show. And I'm like, dude, who the hell listens to one genre of music besides 10-year-olds? I said, let me do what I want to do. And they let me do what I want to do. So if I want to drop some Pink Floyd or Patsy Cline, I'm there.
No
you know
doubt.
what I mean?
I mean,
what else
Giles
am I-
Peterson is
Beautiful.
a great
Yeah.
example of the BBC allowing sort of wide breadth.
Well, the truth of the matter is, you get that wide breadth if you're a late night DJ because they don't pay you too much. The daytime jocks have to play playlisted shit, but I
Gotcha.
can't play music I don't like. I
Word.
don't care how much money you're giving me. I
Yep.
just can't do
So
it.
you do your show live?
No, pre-record. No,
Okay.
I can't do it live because my language is. The BBC are kind of strict with that.
Right.
You know. At the moment, I'm trying to develop a film about Afrofuturism. That's my main passion right now. I don't know if you're hip to what that's all about, but from my perspective, it's the only way forward for black people. You know, people that ain't being defined by their color. Prince is a great example.
I want to hear more about the project that you're working on.
Well, the Afrofuturism.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a personal passion of mine. I like I say, it's hard to kind of explain, but it's about not being defined by your color. And musically, you can find lots of people like that. Sun Ra. I think George Clinton is part of Afrofuturism. I think Lee Perry's part of Afrofuturism. Jimi Hendrix. And all these dudes, the minute they're not trying to be black or play to the street, the world's a really exciting place, man. You know, and I think hip hop and that's kind of hit a brick wall where it's almost become a parody of itself. And we need to look further afield and follow on them people like Prince or George Clinton or Sun Ra. You know, it ain't about the ghetto, it's about the galaxy.
That was the Mexican. We also have a.
You guys feeling that or what? Did you like that? Did you like
We have another song, a debut single featuring Grammy Award nominee Maimouna Youssef, and it's a cover of Shaka Khan. I Know You, I Live You. Natasha Diggs, we want to thank you publicly on the air for being the first DJ to play it in a club in the world.
You're welcome.
No, for
I mean,
real.
I only play music I like, so thank you for making it. I
Hey,
mean,
listen, it's a one-shot deal. First
Yeah.
and the last. You gonna play it again?
I'm waiting for
been
I'm
playing.
waiting for the DJ edit from you. I thought you
Yeah,
said you
yeah.
were gonna make me the. You played?
No.
Didn't you play a different version or no?
But that was Shaka. Yeah.
Oh,
we're-
yeah,
we're
oh, yeah,
gonna-
that's right, that's
Edit is coming.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
It's gonna
yeah,
be great.
no, it's been working. So I play stuff that I feel and that the dance floor responds to. So love that.
Much
you know?
appreciated.
Very
And
smooth.
you include. I'm sorry, Stretch. I didn't mean to step
No,
in.
I was thinking something last night when you were on the mic. Like, I met you maybe like at Mobile Mondays. I don't know how many years ago.
You were actually there the very first night I came to Mobile Mondays.
Well, I did
That's
the,
when
I
I
did
met
the
you, I
opening
think.
party.
Yeah, but it wasn't then because I came a few months after they started, and
Okay,
you happened to be
I did
there.
the opening party, and I
And I was
and I
pr-
did
it-
not play vinyl at Mobile Mondays.
Ouch.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for
But it
those who
was-
don't
right.
know, Mobile Mondays is a night dedicated to 45 and 33 RPM 7-inch vinyl, strictly.
Yes.
So-
the whole night, all genres.
met
all
you
genres.
shortly after.
Yeah.
And we've become friends over time. Would you say? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the way I perceive it. But
Yeah.
you have. You strike me in your everyday life as being kind of reserved, private, not ridiculously outgoing, but in your role as a DJ, you seem to have really opened up.
Stretch,
And-
you got to hang out with her when she's around my son. She's not reserved.
Okay, but your
Around
son is
kids.
not. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what she does.
No,
She-
but you're right. You're right.
so
Like,
you're on the mic, just completely
I just-
free.
I had
and I'm
to.
like, has Natasha? This is not the Natasha I remember.
no, that took time because I'm
Yeah.
like actually really I would consider myself kind of shy in a lot of ways, or reserved more, like you said. But over time, I mean, just the experience of DJ. I mean, there was times I had to open up for Lauryn Hill and stuff, and so that was like, she's a little late sometimes. Sometimes you got to get on the mic and hype some
You gotta
people
see
up,
Don's
like
face.
you got to it was just kind of actually a skill I learned out of necessity, to keep a survival thing almost. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten a little more comfortable. Also, the drinks don't hurt, you know, when the drinks are flowing. And I'm still working on my mic game. I'm taking notes from all of you guys, but
Oh, you're not taking it from me. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, true.
No.
Not you. Yeah.
Stretch, you actually developed a mic game in the last.
He has a
like
whole
4 or 5
routine.
years.
He does.
In the process of doing the Q&As for our film,
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
you've opened up a lot.
And
it's transitioned
You
to
don't need my
the DJ.
voice to dance. That's you might laugh, you might think about something, you might think I'm an idiot or a fool, but dancing, nah. I'm not going to tell you to dance.
You don't hype the crowd up. You say funny stuff on the mic, though. Rashida, how's your mic game? I haven't seen you spend in at least like a year, I guess.
Same in situation. Well, last year for the Bruno Mars tour, there's like 70,000 people. You have to get on the
Hype
mic.
'em up.
It's not my happy place. I should probably practice more. But I mean, I've had to do it over the years, just depending on the situation. But if I have a choice and I can have an MC or like whoever I'm playing with is more comfortable on the mic.
How about just playing
better.
music? Do you
Yeah,
remember
that's
that?
what I
No,
love.
that's
That's my favorite.
Do you remember
That's my
that?
job.
That's
I'm
what
the
I
old
prefer
school
to
dude.
do.
here. I just
That's
let the
my
music
favorite.
do the talking, really.
That's
how it
that's
was.
the real thing.
You just play. You don't even need to be seen, really. Just put me
It's true.
on the dance floor, like right next to the people.
That's my
You
favorite.
know, the
This
whole
whole
thing where
s-
they put you up on
This
stage
whole
now
stage
away from the
business
people.
is,
I don't like that
no,
shit.
me neither.
You know, I like eye contact and
Yeah.
feeling the vibe with the crowd. That thing on the center of the stage.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But
I'm
it's
with
important to see the crowd too. So
You
I
can
see-
do that
I
at
see
ground
the
level.
crowd from
You
the
can do that at
floor.
ground level.
you're really, really tall.
I know.
Look
I'm
at
just trying to
you.
work out who you look like, dude. And if you had curly hair, what's that dude, Napoleon Dynamite? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Somebody come to my defense.
You got that Napoleon Dynamite thing
Thanks,
going on.
thanks, man.
You know that, right?
No, I
Yeah, you
don't.
do.
I don't
Yes,
know.
you do. I can tell you're hurt.
That's hilarious.
I'll only because you're done that.
I'm on a shit list now.
I think I go back and forth with the mic thing. It really depends on the crowd.
You guys having a good time?
I've spun at spaces, and if there's like 2 Latinos in the crowd, I could be in Paris. I'll say some stuff in Spanish, and I'll speak it directly to them because I know like it'll mean a lot to them. But then otherwise, I might just retract and just try to enjoy the music. It's an interesting space. I mean, I remember you were breaking down the history one time of mics. I guess like in the New York club scene, maybe Kid Capri was perhaps one of the first downtown club DJs.
Right,
to-
because in the Bronx, talking on the mic, that's right. That's always been a thing. I mean, DJs talked on the mic back in the day, and then that's why and then eventually they were like, oh, let's get MCs to do that, right? Use MCs to pick up the DJ. But in the 70s, it was
I was going to say, you want to know something funny about talking on the mic?
ouch.
You want to know something about... So the popular story is, right, that the whole thing came out of Jamaica, DJ Kool Herc and the rest of it, Roy. And I interviewed the very first DJs. In Jamaica, guys, DJs is the person on the mic, not the turntable. Confusing, hell yeah. I talked to the very first 2 DJs, MCs, toasters, whatever you want to call them. A dude called Count Machuki and King Stitt. Literally the first 2 DJs to talk on a mic. And they told me that what they were doing is they were copying the guys that were broadcasting out of Miami. You know, the whole jive talk, high pop, because, and of course, back in the day, you only had one deck. So you're trying to keep the vibe going in between turning over the records. But they were imitating the American jocks. See, so nothing comes out of a void. And I thought that was really interesting because, the story is, the narrative is, it all started in Jamaica. Kinda.
Sure.
Wow.
There's a narrative. We all are musicologists here. That there were Cuban musicians who went to New Orleans in the late 1800s, and there are historians now who don't think that jazz is an American art form, that it's actually heavily influenced and started in Cuba. So, as we learn history and as we learn background, it's constantly evolving. I think it's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, it's a
You
trip.
know,
But like I said, nothing comes out of a void, man. And if it does, you probably wouldn't like it,
Yeah.
Of course, in New Orleans, shortwave radio picking up New Orleans was incredibly influential in Jamaica. But yeah, I mean, uptown, right? So the mic that was the thing, and downtown DJs never. It was just, there weren't even microphones at clubs in New York City in the 80s, downtown.
Yeah.
And then Kid Capri started playing at the building, and then I think that kind of started it. Come here.
We have a special guest that we didn't get to interview for me and Stretch's
Hold on real quick.
self-aggrandizing autobiographical documentary.
Come on in. Come sit over there.
So,
So
there's an unsung hero in our history, right?
that's right. That's right. He just walked
he's here with
in the
us.
place. So how can we tell the story in a nutshell? Or do you
Well, we have-
or should
we have 10
Dylan-
minutes left.
Or should we have Dylan tell the story? No, I think
No story.
no story. No. But Dylan, you were the head of the Pan-African department at WKCR in New York City when Bob and I got the chance to essentially compete with another crew,
My friends.
right, with your friends
Yeah.
Bring his mic up, please. Thank you.
who were given the green light to have a hip hop show on WKCR. We were given the green light as well, but because there were two competing entities, we were told that we would play week to week until a decision was made, and the decision fell on you as
Yeah.
the head of the Pan-African department.
Yeah.
So,
So-
so as you guys were kicking it last night, like, we wouldn't be here in Dubai if it wasn't for that radio show. That
Word.
radio show wouldn't have happened without your blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, aplauso!
Hey.
Aplauso, por favor, para el hombre.
Now, truthfully, you were the other guys were my
Dylan
first.
Let him talk. We only got a few minutes. Let him talk.
Come on, Bob.
My bad.
No, but you guys were way better. You know, what I mean, so I mean, they were my friends, but you know, what I mean, it
Cool.
was just like, yeah,
We don't, let's move beyond that.
Yeah.
We know we're better.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It hurt though. I wish they were better at the time because they're my friends. So I had to see them afterwards and explain to them that, well, it really wasn't me. It was, you know, I mean, politics, and they just gave them guy. You know, what I mean, but
You know, I never
it
thought
really
to
hurt.
ask you, are you still cool with them? Do they know what our radio
No.
show became?
Yeah, I'm sure, because they're fans.
They are.
They
okay.
were fans after. You know what I mean? It was just, they'd go up to the studio and get high, you know what I mean, and smoke because that's what college radio is supposed to be. You guys just decided to do like real radio.
Yeah.
You know, but they're just, well, go play some music. Just shout out everyone on campus. You know, shout out the freshman class. So, and you guys actually came with like music. So it was like, ah, fuck. You know what I mean? I really have to give these guys because I'm going to look like an asshole to them if I
Yeah.
give you, and I'm going to look like an asshole to the station and me if I actually don't give it to you because you guys were way better. You know, so it kind of, yeah, it was a difficult situation for a moment because, you know what I mean, because there's a whole racial dynamic as well. Because this is during Do the Right Thing, Fight the Power time, and those guys were my friends who were black, and there's, you know what I mean, you guys.
You guys.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, but
I
still.
checked off a little box there.
Yeah, but you weren't there. You weren't in the struggle. You weren't seasoned buildings because at that point we're like taking over buildings on campus, and remember it was Professor Griff, Fight the Power, all this shit is happening. So it's really a racially sensitive moment in Colombia's history and in New York history. This is Yusuf Hawkins, you know, X-Clan, you know what I mean? And it's like, ah, fuck, no, I have to give the white kid the gig.
Bob's
And
trying to say he's a brother.
Yeah, I know but he is a brother. But he wasn't in the streets.
I'm a person
bro.
of color.
Yeah, yeah.
Proud,
the
and
brother,
I was out there doing
Yeah.
protests and stuff. But no, I get it.
He's a hermano.
Yeah, you're
Stretch
right.
was the DJ. He was the Columbia student. I was just the add-on. So I'm sure
Yeah,
that
but
there
you
was
added the
tension.
flavor though, you know. Don't get me wrong, you know.
Yeah.
It helped, you know. Because we had the Puerto
Well, let's
Rican
put it
kid
like
there.
this, Bob. If you weren't involved,
It would have
it
been
would've
a little
nothing.
more difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But them cats were out there and like, you know, dressed in all black like S1Ws with us. So it was Fight the Poor Man. I was like, ah, fuck, I forget to the white dude.
So you gave it to the white dude, aka DJ Skinny Bones at the time, who
Yep,
later
yep.
became.
Thank you, Bob.
Adrian B, or were you Adrian B?
I was
then?
Nah,
a lot
he
of
was
things.
Skinny
I
Bones.
didn't have a name on the radio. I was trying out different names. I was like, I need a real radio name.
Napoleon
Stretch
Dynamite.
Armstrong. That's
Yeah.
good. What's that?
Nothing. I didn't say.
Napoleon
did-
Dynamite? That's
didn't
what I
say
should have
that. I
been?
Did you get any pushback
From
internally when you did give the nod?
no, I lied. I told him it wasn't my decision. I told the cats that it was the white chick who ran the station. She
Sarah.
yeah,
Her name was
Sarah.
Sarah, yeah.
I was like, you know, them white people look out for each other. It wasn't me. I was like, you know, it's a white, you know, mighty whitey, try to keep us down. I couldn't go back. I couldn't face them. So I had to, you know what I mean, tell him it wasn't me, white, you know what I mean? I tried.
Oh my God.
Why did we interview Dylan for our film?
Because I had completely forgotten this story.
Oh man,
And
that would have been so great.
I know. It's
Racist.
Nah, I regret
We
that.
gotta,
It would be tremendous.
we gotta do a 10th anniversary edition of
Yes,
the film.
absolutely. No, for real.
No, but let me, because Adrian came through for me big time senior year because I got
Who's Adrian?
Stretch Armstrong. You know? Yeah.
How you doing?
Ah, fuck. But Stretch came through big time because he got me my gig with Big Beat Atlantic Records, where I got to sign a bunch of great reggae records, and we had fun doing A&R together for years. We did Don Penn No No No,
which turned into an album, right?
yeah, turned into an album, big record. We did
Wait, you signed Dawn Penn to
to Atlantic, to Big Beat on
Yeah.
Big Beat Reggae, my label that because of my relationship with Stretch, subsequent to the radio situation, because we started hanging out after that, because my black friends wouldn't talk to me, so I had to hang out with the white.
Stop it.
You know
No,
what I
but
mean?
the coup was signing Garnet Silk.
Yeah, I
when
signed
all
Garnet
the major
Silk.
labels were snatching up all the major breakthrough dancehall artists, so Shaba and Beanie and
Yeah,
et cetera, et
Garnet.
cetera.
So we signed Garnet, God rest his soul, and Sister Nancy Bam Bam, which turned out to the most sampled reggae record, dancehall record of all time. I signed that because of Stretch at Big Beat. Because, you know, we got Slimy Craig Hallman to, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? But hey, that's
he's
another
now like
story.
the CEO of Atlantic
He's like
Records.
God.
Yeah, he's
You know what I mean? He's God
he's a
now. But
multi-million-
we sat with him for half an hour a few weeks ago.
Craig,
Has not changed.
he has not changed.
At
still
all.
quiet.
Yeah, he won't change.
Oh, so you signed some major.
In a circle, but even that came through Craig as well. But we A&R'd that project. The Bad Boys and Sweat. Bad Boys. What
Yeah.
you going? Yeah, we
Yeah.
I
Can you
signed
sing
signed
that.
that
Sweat?
record
Can you
too.
sing Sweat for us?
Oh, fuck you.
Dylan, I had no idea.
That I was such a jiggy guy. Come on, Bob.
I don't. Why is it like 30 years later? I'm learning so much about.
You remember I had the reggae show with,
Of course I
for
do.
you guys, right?
On WKCR 89.9
yeah,
FM.
so I was smoking a lot of weed then. You know, I was smoking, playing music. and keeping
Dylan
it
was lighting
moving.
incense candles and reading psalms
On radio.
while playing reggae on the radio. It was pretty remarkable.
And there was another cat named Vincent
Vinny, yeah,
Vincent Hans.
Italian guy.
Vincent Hahn.
Yeah, I got him the gig too because that's kind of messed up too because Vinny was at Columbia for like a semester and then disappeared but stayed with the reggae, did the reggae show for like 30 years after. Vinny wouldn't leave. Yeah, but he was great too. You know what I mean? Italian guy from Bensonhurst. That's kind of fucked up. You know, he's all this, yeah. And I got him the gig too because there's another guy who wanted it, who was on campus, but he couldn't. He was like a Haitian dude, and he couldn't really manage the reggae. But the Italian dude from Bensonhurst was killing it. So it was like, yeah,
I'm curious.
messed up,
Rough
man.
time with your friends
I'm curious
on campus.
how you feel about. I was always listening to Vincent, and you know, if you listen to Stretch was exactly who he was on air as he was during the day. So it was clear that Stretch was a white cat. I mean, a lot of people thought you were black for a long time too, until we started getting a little bit more known. But what is the
Stretch has
perception?
a voice. Like,
What is the perception of an Italian cat from Bensonhurst assuming the Jamaican accent on air? Is that acceptable, or is that something that's teeters?
Vinny did it well though. You know what I mean? And like in Baby Mother was a Jamaican woman too, so that kind of helped. I think he had he had like a Jamaican kid, and he had locks. You know what I mean? You know them Bensonhurst locks. White
Yeah,
people.
we know.
You know the white people locks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was kind of. He wore Clarks. So he kind of
Essential Jamaican
Yeah,
footwear.
yeah.
It's also a different time back
Gone
then.
clear.
It's
a different time, different
Vinny,
time.
because Jamaicans, we have Vinny's to Vincent. The whole heap of Vincent Campbell, Vincent, so it was like Vinny. So it was Vinny, Jamaican, white, Italian Vinny. You know what I mean? Vinny.
And now we have Albarosi.
Albarosi, see, same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Albarosi, Vinny, Italian, you know, like a Jamaican, Italian. Yeah, I don't know, but Vinny was all right. He was good selector though. Good selector. So he couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, Like Stretch, you can't knock people's hustle. If people good at what they do,
No
you
doubt.
know what I mean? You're good at what you do.
No doubt.
So this year, I guess most people familiar with soul this year know that the theme is Jamaican dance hall. Well, excuse me, sound system culture. You, in case you can't tell, you hail from Kingston. You live
Jamaica.
in Kingston currently, and
Reggae land.
so just your perspective, like, what's your take
Yo,
on,
this is amazing.
on this whole situation?
Amazing. The equivalent doesn't exist at the risk of sounding like a Jamaican tourist board and a government basher or promoter basher. The equivalent doesn't exist in Jamaica, or has never existed. We have great concerts and great stage shows with an abundance of artists and abundance of performers. But to see the whole culture incorporated under one umbrella with film, art, the talks, and actual great music, that's never existed or has been done or curated to this extent ever in Jamaica. So I have to take my hats off to the Soul crew, and hopefully that the actual book itself, the Soul
Magazine.
You
It's
contributed.
tremendous.
Magazine is
It's
tremendous.
You
know?
contributed to it.
It's a
correct?
book.
Yeah, I wrote some shit in
It's
there.
tremendous.
Yeah, but it's good book, good magazine, and Soul did a great job. And you know what I mean, just the fact that Ronnie alone, just that the fact that the type of tribute and the type of energy that they've given Ronnie and the art of building a sound system, that's never been done in Jamaica. They're the people who build sounds are like the unsung heroes of sound system culture. Because everybody because in Jamaica I'm involved with sound system world as well, and you don't really think about the guys who build a sound. You know what I mean? People who chat mic and the selected are the people who really get the hype. But the people who actually physically put the shit together, they're not featured. And truth be told, Ronnie is like the last of a generation of people who build that type of sound. You know what I mean? We've kind of evolved. The dancehall sounds aren't necessarily as focused on low end. They aren't necessarily focused on, they're more focused on portability, because you're moving all over the place, so you have to get them in and out. Right? So the old school hardwood ply sounds is a different generation of sound that lead to a more pumping low end from the 70s. Dub, when dub was the actual feel and the genre, the dominant genre in reggae or in Jamaican music. Dancehall don't require that type of meticulous detail at this point. You know what I mean? Because cats know actually using them portable JBL style boxes on poles and subwoofer, which we don't fuck. We still have boxes, but it's Ronnie. The fact that you see Ronnie on that mural up front is amazing to me, because
At the entrance, at the gate, he's like a 20-foot illustration of Ronnie.
Yeah, around a sound system, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, so for that, once again, I take my hats off to Soul, because it's something that we in Jamaica, as people within the quote-unquote industry, should take note of, because there are lots of unsung heroes that don't get their due. That, the fact that Ronnie had to be highlighted 3,000 miles away, whereas he's, like a 15-minute drive from 90% of the people who are writing and documenting the history of dancehall culture in Jamaica is amazing. The fact that he got his feature and due here, beautiful.
And was that because of your insight into the culture? Like,
that didn't come through me. They
consulted Sole DXB or
not on that. I wrote. We did some stuff on Tivoli and dancehall and sound systems and just Tivoli Garden, which is a particular community that I have knowledge of in Jamaica.
Pasa.
Pasa. It was my event in Jamaica over the last couple of years back. But I think the Soul Crew came down and they wanted basically to do sound systems, so they went to the roots of how sound systems are actually constructed. Not just who played on sound systems, not what records are played or who plays on them, but the actual physical construction of a sound system, the back end, which we don't, most people actually, I should say, don't really see or get a chance to actually experience. So the fact that they did that is, props. Big thing.
Word up.
Amazing.
Rastafari.
Amazing.
Stretch.
Natural.
Bob.
I want to publicly say I love you so much.
See.
No, for real, man.
Nah, I love you too, man.
It's,
Yeah.
we've been doing radio now It's start in 2020. It'll be 30 years.
Snips and Killa, you one day you're gonna be able to tell each other you love one another and even hold hands.
But just as we're showing gratitude to Dylan, listen, I would not be a public figure if it wasn't for you giving me the opportunity. I was behind the scenes working at Def Jam, and I would have done other things, obviously, in my wide range of interests. But you gave me the opportunity to be a public figure, and now, thanks to Sole DXB, we're doing radio in Western Asia. I don't like to call it the Middle East. We're going to be doing a podcast in 2020 on a new platform. We did NPR. We did WKCR for 12 years together. And, who knows? We're going to be on tour with our band, the M19s.
If they write a book about us, or if we write
we
the
write
book
ourselves.
about
Yeah.
Why not?
If Don lets us.
the title could be Alley Oop. I feel like that's kind of like something that's been going on.
What's
here,
that
right?
mean?
Like, what's an alley oop?
An alley-oop is a pass
Who
in
asked that?
basketball.
Alley-oop?
An alley-oop.
It's
alley-oop,
passed
alley-oop.
near the rim, like
Yeah,
Right.
it leads to a
leads to
basket.
yeah.
Basketball. Oh, alley-oop. Okay. I thought it was a
Alley-oop,
French word.
alley-oop.
I thought it was a French word. Alley-oop. I wasn't quite understanding how y'all got sophisticated. Alley-oop?
But we want to say thanks to all of our guests, Natasha Diggs,
Natasha Diggs, Don Letts, yes,
Rashida Robinson,
and Dylan Powell.
and Dylan Powell. And thanks to our engineer for rocking out, keeping the mic levels right. Stretch.
Yes.
I'll see you
In a minute.
Peace.